are you sure it was him? Yeah, we're really sure it was him. You know why?
Oh, we going live. All up in this piece. If y'all didn't know, we are definitely up in this piece.
Because the chill.
We are most definitely showing up and showing out. And we are going to give people the time to come in the building. If you are coming in the building, make sure you speak, say what's up, do what you do. Make sure you put in the chat where you're from, where you're watching from, city or state. What's up, Dupree? Because we up in here. We ain't even got to play with them today when it comes to this action.
You got the chill.
It is what it is. We gonna get to the action in a minute. My TikTok is uploading too, so y'all give me a minute. What up, Jake? Cause we gonna talk about it, and we gonna understand how we got from point A to point B. Because a lot of people don't understand what has taken place. You know. But we gonna make it right. We gonna get it together and see what's popping. We trying to give everybody a minute to crawl up in here, because I know y'all crawling up in here slowly but surely. But we gonna talk about this Shedeur Sanders action and how the NFL has done what they have done. You know what I'm saying? It's no secret. There's nothing to hide. They did it out in the open, and now they're trying to change the narrative on what happened. And it's not going to fly. All of a sudden, people are changing their words. The meetings didn't go as bad as they say they did. You know, it's a lot of things that has taken place between the week of the draft and now. And it's crazy how a lot of people all of a sudden Shedeur the man. But the NFL did one of the greatest things they could have ever done. And it really wasn't the NFL. I'm not going to even say it was all 32 owners. I will say it was 10 to 15 of them. And they all got together and wanted to punish Deion and Shedeur and make an example out of Shedeur and punish Deion at the same time, because that's the only way a lot of them would be able to touch Deion in that manner. Because Deion is such a polarizing figure, because he commands such attention in NFL spaces and places when it comes to football and baseball and just commentary in general. What's up, Lady C? It takes something like this to bring it to the forefront. And people don't understand. I've been having these discussions with my partners, with my homies, with random people on the internet. You know, we've been having these discussions about Shedeur, the draft process. How was he skipped over? Why did he fall so far? And It's common knowledge. Well, it's not common knowledge to a lot of people, but it's right there in plain sight as to how it happened. And it's kind of ridiculous if you paid any attention, if you watch the process, and if you paid attention to the details, then you would understand. I was gonna make a video on this, but I was like, nah, we just gonna do this live because I hate trying to put all those pieces together in the video, trying to make it look good and make it look sexy, and the tediousness of it is crazy for me because I have a lot of shit going on, so I wouldn't have the time to put together the type of video I would want to put together. That's why I'm gonna have to get me an editor so I can do what I do and then let him piece it. But the things I want to talk about, since we've been alive for a minute, maybe 6 or 7 minutes now, and people are still trickling in, I want to take it back. I want to take it back to the end of the bowl game. That's where we'll start. That's where we'll start. And just so y'all know, in the chat, super chats go to the top. I will answer some questions. Y'all know, if y'all have been in my streams before, y'all know I'll get to y'all. I don't leave people out of the live stream. So if y'all got questions, pop them in the chat and all that, we'll get to it. But I want to start at the end of the bowl game. Shedeur does what he does. Travis does what he does. They lose the game. But at the end of that game, everybody's attention immediately turned to the draft. Shedeur was hot. He was 1 or 2 in the draft process. He was the best quarterback in the draft, including Cam. And as the draft process went on and Tennessee made their choice, it was understood that Tennessee was going to pick Cam. The focus went immediately to Shedeur, the best quarterback in the draft. Who's going to pick him where? Now, we got to the East-West Shrine game, and Shedeur didn't do any workouts. He didn't practice, but he met with teams. The Giants were there. The Browns was there. The Raiders were there. I know those 3 teams were there specifically to talk to Shedeur. And they met with him for a couple of days. They weren't there just one day. They were there for the multitude of the East-West Shrine game. So everything went good there. You had no bad reports coming out about Shedeur and about how he met with the teams. You even saw him during the East-West Shrine games talking to teams, meeting with teams. They pointed it out on Well Off. They pointed it out on ESPN, pointed it out on Shay. Everywhere. Everybody was talking about these teams coming to meet with Shedeur. Got to the combine. Shedeur didn't do anything, any workouts. Only thing he did was meetings at the combine. But doing all of this during the combine, you heard nothing bad about Shedeur. He had cameras following him everywhere. He was talking to the press. He was talking to the team. He did all the things he was supposed to do, but work out. Then we had the showcase. I ain't hard to find showcase. At Colorado, every team showed up. All 32. The Giants brought the owner, the head coach, the GM, the OC, and a few other people. Cleveland brought the owner, the head coach, the GM, the OC, the DC, the strength coordinator. They brought all of these people. Other teams not only sent their scouts, they sent GMs and head coaches. Everybody was in Colorado for I Ain't Hard to Find showcase for the Colorado Pro Day. They watched all the players work out, but everybody was waiting on Shedeur and Travis. Mind you, Travis was at that combine. Travis was at that pro day. He didn't work out. He only did meetings. At the showcase, Travis didn't do any defensive workouts. He only did meetings. And he only did wide receiver drills. He only caught passes from Shedeur. We get past that, right? The showcase is the biggest thing that ever happened. Best showcase ever in the history of pro days. Because it's Coach Prime. He knows how to put on a show. He's dealt with all these people. All these people came to show love and see what they were trying to buy in the NFL draft. Come draft week, Todd McShay, Shedeur is not going to get drafted by the Giants. I heard the meetings went bad. An anonymous guy. Shedeur did this. The meetings went bad. He was arrogant. He made people feel small. More reports started coming out. All this is draft week. We're not talking months before the draft. We're not talking weeks before the draft. We are talking the same week as the draft. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Draft starts Thursday. And we started hearing all of this crap. Shedeur doing this. Shedeur doing. He didn't do that. He didn't answer the questions in the meeting right. He came to the meeting with headphones on. He was arrogant. What about his father? What is Dion gonna do when you draft him? And I'll tell y'all, and I'll say it again. A lot of coaches, a lot of GMs are scared of Coach Prime. A lot of owners. I've been in some of these NFL events where Prime has walked into the room talking to owners, talking to GMs. I've literally seen people walk up to Deion Sanders while he's talking to an owner, shake his hand, give him the bro hug, pat him on the back, and don't even speak to the owner. Don't speak to the GM because they only had one person in mind that they wanted to talk to. I've seen it happen more than once. Deion would never tell these stories unless you catch him in private. But he'll only tell you if he trusts you. I've seen it happen. And that is one of the reasons why Shedeur and Deion were treated the way they were treated during the draft. A lot of these coaches and people that's in upper management on teams were players when Deion played. They couldn't get him then. Now is your best chance for revenge. How do you punish a man that loves his son so much and the world knows it? You punish a man through his son. And come draft night, I'm going to wrap up. I'm going to show y'all how all this fits together. You got to remember, the Atlanta Hawks, the Atlanta Falcons defensive coordinator's son had Shedeur's phone number. If Shedeur was expected to go 1, 2, or 3, why would you need Shedeur's phone number? If Shedeur was expected to go in the first round, why would you even care to even think about having Shedeur's phone number to give him a prank call? Why? You got to remember, these are Atlanta Falcons, the same team that drafted Deion. You got to remember, the New York Giants was the same team that wanted to draft Deion. But in that meeting, Deion asked them, what number are you guys picking in the draft? They said 10. Deion said, I ain't going to even be there. Ain't no need of me even talking to y'all. And walked out of the meeting. And he was right. He got drafted number 5. The Giants had the 10th pick in that draft. See, all this stuff correlates. And a lot of people think it's a conspiracy. These are facts. There's no reason for that coach's son to have Shedeur's phone number to prank call him when Shedeur is not supposed to be even there for him to call with a prank on the second day of the draft. Shedeur's supposed to be gone. There's no way that every pundit that evaluates players and quarterbacks especially have Shedeur either number 1 quarterback or number 2 quarterback on their draft. And Shedeur is still undrafted on day 1, 2, or 3. Everybody's not wrong. The only way this happens if there was a message being sent. And everybody's not wrong when they say the league was sending a message. If you go watch after the draft, you will hear on every sports talk radio show from ESPN, Fox, CBS, Yahoo, I don't care, YouTubers, wherever you got it from, people said the league was sending a message, not only to Shedeur, but to Deion, that this is our league. You don't run them. You have no power to control anything here. Like I said in my video, the plan was for Shedeur to go as an undrafted free agent. Nobody was supposed to draft Shedeur. But Cleveland couldn't resist all of that money and let it slide by. Y'all got to remember, Cleveland passed up Shedeur 5-6 times before they drafted him. They also gave up 2 draft picks to come back in and draft Shedeur before Pittsburgh came up again, because they knew that at the 5th round, if Shedeur was sitting there when Pittsburgh got their draft pick, they was going to get him. Nobody was going to pass up that money. That's too much money. And as of right now, the Browns are getting more media coverage than they've ever had in the existence of that franchise. Nobody has ever covered the Browns this extensively. And this is just rookie minicamp. No veteran players are in the thing. They just got there yesterday. But there has been wall-to-wall media coverage on the Cleveland Browns since before media day, since before the rookie minicamp even started. Shedeur is the number 1 selling jersey in the NFL right now. Damn the rookies. The entirety of the NFL right now, nobody has sold more jerseys than Shedeur. Travis is number 2. Let's make sure we get him in there because he's that boy. But as we get in the draft to the collusion, as Shedeur is drafted 5 in the 5th round, 144. Dylan Gabriel was selected in the 3rd round, number 96. The talk began as to why would you go back and draft another quarterback, because they wanted to draft Shedeur first. As it was told, Todd McShay knew that the Browns wanted to draft Travis at 2. Go back and get Shedeur at 15. This is a common known fact. It's public that this is what the Browns were going to do until the collusion was. Y'all don't believe me that this was going to happen? Hold on. I got it. Let me go get it. I got a lot of this stuff. I just didn't want to make the video. Todd McShay's latest. Now, this is from the Cleveland Browns. Todd McShay's latest draft pick. Colorado duo in Cleveland. Browns land Travis Hunter and Shedeur Sanders. The Browns plan to pick Travis at 2 and pick Shedeur at 15 with a trade with Atlanta. I wouldn't lie to you. It's there. It's all there. It's out there. That's what they wanted to do. But then the collusion started. And Prime and Shedeur had to be punished. But one thing you can't do to this family is make them feel less than when they know who they are. And that's where the NFL made their mistake. The NFL tried to punish Coach Prime and Shedeur and turn Shedeur into a bigger star. Got him more fans, more followers, because people that wasn't even following this crap after game day, after the NFL draft, became Shedeur fans. People that didn't like Prime, people that didn't like Shedeur, all of a sudden switched sides because they saw what we all saw. Now the Browns have 4 quarterbacks. We not counting Deshaun Watson. He broken. He can't do nothing right now. And when he heal up, they're not going to let him play. They're going to do what they can to offload that contract on somebody else, because by then they would have been eating up most of it in year 3. So they're not worried about that. They'll be able to offload Deshaun and he'll count against the luxury tax or something. But what the NFL has done is turn Shedeur into a mega star. He was already a superstar. He was a star. He was shining bright, but they wanted to dim his light. And what happened with that, trying to make an example out of him, turned it up. And now every show leads with Shedeur. And they will lead with Shedeur from this day forward until the season starts. And when the season starts, it will get even worse if Shedeur doesn't start game 1. Shedeur is going to make the roster. There's no way they can cut him. He makes them too much money right now without even playing a snap. Season tickets are finna go out the roof. They're going to be able to raise the prices. because Shedeur is in that building. The same way that Colorado was able to do what they've done, Cleveland will be able to do the same thing. But they got mad at him because he said, if you want to change your franchise, if you want me to help you change your culture, and if you don't want to do any of those things, you don't need to draft me. And that's what part of it that pissed a lot of NFL owners and coaches and GMs off. Because like all people, like all men, those people have egos too. And they like, we already have those things. And you think we need you to help change them? No. But they're wrong. The Browns are finding that out right now. Live in living color, they're finding out that yes, with him comes change. Because now all the cameras are fixated on Shedeur and Dylan Gabriel. But now it's not Bucky and his crew. It's all of the Cleveland media and the surrounding areas. All the media in the state of Ohio is in Cleveland right now, including ESPN, Fox, Yahoo, CBS, and everybody else that does sports radio and got a podcast. All of them. And Shedeur has found him a hater in Cleveland. He has a big hater in Cleveland that works for ESPN Cleveland. I forget the man's name. He started with a B book or something like that, but he wants Shedeur to fail, but he's not. I was watching let me find the Bomani Jones clip because I want y'all to hear what Bomani Jones had to say. I want y'all to hear what Bomani Jones had to say about Shedeur and how he thinks they've humbled him. I want y'all to understand this.
Another quote. My story is going to be similar to Tom Brady. So he's talking about, I was a late round pick, but we're here now, so none of that stuff matters. That just mattered on that day, and I'm just excited to be here, ready to work. These are all the things that somebody in his position needs to be saying out loud. I also noticed that in Tampa Bay, Shiloh Sanders, his brother, he's got long odds to make the team. He's an undrafted dude, but he did media availability and then went and shook hands with everybody that was there for media availability. Guys, I can't tell you this enough. Nobody has to do that. But we are an easy bunch. Media, we're a tough bunch. You just be a little bit nice to us, man. We will be eating out of your hand. That right there was a wise play by Shiloh. Shedeur also did the thing where he got to Cleveland, and the first thing he did is he went and he talked to a high school, and then he said he did not do it for PR. Now, I understand that there's some lies that you have to tell, right? I get that.
See right there. Right there. See what he says right there? I get that there's some lies you have to tell. What people don't understand when saying all of these things about Shedeur, about him being brash and doing the things with, what you have to understand is that Shedeur has done this since he's been in college. When he was at Jackson, he went to visit high schools. When he got to Colorado, he went to visit elementary schools, middle schools, and high schools. When he goes out of state to work out, he went to visit schools, or he sent pizzas to schools. These are the things that he's been doing. You're just now getting to see them. So you think that the NFL and this experience has humbled him when he's already been that. When he hasn't changed who he is or what he does because of the experience he had in the draft process. That's not him. He's just doing what he normally has always done. It just looks new to you because you don't know. You didn't follow him. And the NFL didn't do their research when drafting Shedeur. I'm telling you, the NFL did not do their research when drafting Shedeur. Simply because I've heard them say, well, we got answers when we went to talk to coaches, when we went to talk to the people in Colorado, the people that was on Coach Prime's staff. We don't feel as if we got the correct information. We don't feel as if we got a truthful answer because they work for Dion and they're not going to put their job at risk. Y'all make sure y'all hit the like button while y'all in here. If you're not, hit the subscribe button, do all that. They were saying that they don't feel as if they got the truth. As if people telling you that Shedeur does his schoolwork, he's graduating early, he stays late after practice, he's good with his teammates. Only thing he likes to do is make music and play football. Yes, he has the cars. Yes, he does his watch like this. Yes, he does those things. But that's part of his brand. That's not him as a person. He has no distractions off the field. But they felt that the information they were getting was insufficient. It wasn't real. It was tainted because everybody works for his father. But now that he's in Cleveland and he's doing those same exact things, maybe we got it wrong. Now it turns out that in those meetings, there wasn't no tension. Shedeur wasn't that bad on the whiteboard. Oh, now he wasn't bad. Oh, now he didn't have his headphones on. He wasn't taking phone calls. Now, because you son of a bitches set him up to fail. But what y'all thought was going to happen, you were going to get an angry Shedeur, an angry Coach Prime. You were mad that on that Thursday night, he had the draft party and the draft room with legendary all over it, all legendary, all in the doggone place. Y'all didn't like that. Because he didn't seem needy. He didn't seem as if he needed the NFL to become the man that he already is. He's already famous. He don't need you to be that. He's already rich. He don't need you to be that. He has expanded Cleveland's fan base far beyond what they thought they would have. See, all the things that the other players that come in the NFL, that need the NFL, that want to be there, that have to have it, they didn't get that out of Shedeur. Let's go back to Beaumont.
But at the same time, good on him. What it sounds like is, and I think it may have been Albert Breer, but somebody else made this point, that the way that he handled himself in the pre-draft process was like he was being recruited rather than being drafted. It was as though they completely forgot the math on this, like the dynamics and how it works. And in the end, you are still asking these people to give you a job, right? You are not in a position to dictate terms. They have the thing that you want, which is the job. You want the job more than they want you in just about every case, right? He didn't seem to get that. If you went and looked at when he did press availability at the combine, he's got the hat.
Right. And see, that's the problem. He didn't seem to get that. You know why? Because he didn't have to get that. He didn't need to get that. They were looking for ass kissing and head bowing, and they didn't get that. What they got was a young man who came in there confident in his skill set, in his knowledge of the game. They didn't get the humble, the meek, the guy that had to have it, Shedeur Sanders. They got a guy that walked through that door with his chest poked out, with his head to the sky, who shook their hand and looked them directly in their face. He didn't look down. And he said, let's talk. And in those Giants meetings, see, because the Giants had been meeting with Shedeur so often that he built a relationship with him. And if you watch Shedeur and if you listen to him talk, he will tell you his thing is relationships, especially with his coaches, especially with the people that he work around. And in some instances, I think he just got too comfortable with the Giants. And I believe that joke about Tom Brady, when they asked him about Tom Brady, and he said, nah, I ain't going to be like him. His girl cheated on him with the trainer. That ain't going to be me. But see, at that point in time, Shedeur had gotten comfortable with those people. And he was playing around. And they took it the other way. Like I tell my sons, everybody don't play like you play. Watch what you say around these people, because they will turn on you when they figure they can hurt you. All of this was never about football. They tried. They wanted to. They needed to make an example out of Coach Prime and Deion Sanders. But the only thing they did was made Shedeur 10 times more loved, more famous, more popular than he was before he got there. Because by doing this and pulling this stunt, they draw more eyes to Shedeur Sanders and Coach Brown. Deion Sanders was already a figure of love in this community. He was already that man. See, you already couldn't do too much to touch Deion in our community. But see, when you push us like that, and they thought by making Shedeur fall to an undrafted free agent, they was going to send a message to these next kids coming up. But see, now, this is where the problem lies. The next one's gonna be rich too when they get there. They're gonna be millionaires coming through the door. They're not gonna be as needy as those guys were 5 or 10 years ago. See, because they're gonna be done touched that bag. They're gonna be done made a couple of million before they get in the NFL. They're already been to set mama up. These quarterbacks and receivers, especially, and a lot of linemen. They're gonna already be to set mama up. Got mama the house. Got mama the car. We coming to get the big bag to set the rest of the family up and set my family up for life. See, what you ain't gonna be able to do going forward is pump these boys out. Because Shedeur didn't take a route nobody else hasn't taken. Shedeur has done nothing different than no other popular quarterback or high draft pick coming into the NFL draft. He didn't work out. He didn't throw at the combine. He worked out at his pro day. That's normal for high draft picks. But all of a sudden, Shedeur didn't have the skill. All of a sudden, Shedeur didn't interview well. But now that he's talking in Cleveland in front of the mic, oh, Shedeur interviewed well. He was so poised. He spoke so well. He gave us full sentences. He didn't say and oh no. He didn't do all that. When he was asked them stupid questions, he turned it on the reporter. What you think? But see, you got to remember who his father is. He was trained. He was taught. You think he didn't teach him about the pitfalls of coming to the NFL? You think he didn't teach him about what y'all going to try to do when y'all get him in that draft room and try to ask him questions? And that's what people didn't like about Shedeur. They didn't like that he was overly prepared and wasn't going to make a fool of himself and wasn't going to let them make a fool of himself because he knew who he was. But let's go back to the money because we're not done. We are not done.
Back to the side, like, don't bring me if you're not trying to change the culture and all of that. No, there's all of these things misunderstood the dynamics of it. Like, how dare you tell all these teams that their culture needs to change? You just got here. You don't know what our culture is, right? It may not have been good this year, but you don't know these things. He didn't. And these are mistakes that young people make. And so
see right there. And see right there. How is that a mistake? When I'm telling you what I bring. I'm telling you, I'm going to change the culture of your program when I step in your building. But right there, Bomani is saying, don't tell us about what we ain't got. If I'm being drafted high in the NFL draft, your culture sucks. You got a losing culture. And that's what he was telling you. We're going to change your culture from losing to winning. But because he told you, history is doomed to repeat itself. And I've done this everywhere I went. I did it in high school. I did it at Jackson. I did it at Colorado. And when I come to the NFL, I'm going to do the exact same thing. And that's the problem that they have. That this young man is so confident. He's so into himself that he's telling me that he's going to change the culture of my program when he come to my door. And I'm supposed to pay him millions of dollars. Yes. If you want to win, Because tell me where he's lost at. He didn't lose in high school. He ain't losing in college. Yeah, one losing season in college. One. But you go pick who for the New Orleans Saints at 9? Tyler Show, who has been in college for 7 years, has never finished a complete season of his college football career. New Orleans Saints quarterback, Mr. Carr, Derek Carr, just retired from his shoulder injury. And you know what has kept Tyler Show from finishing his college football seasons? Fucking shoulder injury, collarbones, things of that nature. But that's the guy that you draft in front of Shedeur, the quarterback that owns the highest completion rate in all of college football. And you're right, Cash. Colorado was 13-12. They don't want to count the JSU days because them HBCU, hell, they was football games. Tom Brady. Shedeur Sanders' mentor did not draft Shedeur Sanders. And Tom Brady to this day wants us to believe that he had nothing to do with the quarterbacks picked by the Raiders. The quarterback from North Dakota State University drafted. But who did he lose to? I'm saying what I'm saying. And Skip Bayless on Tom Brady ass because he know he lying. You telling me you is this guy's mentor. You worked out with him. You talked to him. You love him. But you won't draft him? Tom Brady full of shit. Tom Brady is full of shit. That's all I'm saying. And Shedeur knows it. He ain't gonna say it. He gonna play the game. He ain't gonna rub Tom Brady's name through the mud. Shedeur going after his crown. That's what he wants. Then when he get there, he gonna talk a whole lot. He gonna talk a whole lot. Who said they don't think Tom Brady got in the pool? Me, look here, man. The man that owns 5% of your team is the best quarterback to ever play in the NFL. Not long retired. He mentored the best quarterback in the draft. He texts and calls him during the season 2 to 3 times a week. I'm sure they text and talk during this draft process. Shedeur went to LA to the Raiders to work out for the team. He also went there to work out just to work out at UNLV. And you tell me he didn't go see Tom Brady? Tell me Tom Brady didn't come see him? Him and Cam were there. But you telling me that the best quarterback to ever play the game is a mentor, is a friend. You telling me that the GM who was Tom Brady's homeboy, who was the GM at the Buccaneers when Tom Brady won that Super Bowl, who is now the GM of the team that Tom Brady owns a percentage of, did not consult Tom Brady when it came to drafting the quarterback in this draft. Are you crazy? You telling me they didn't ask him about, well, what you think about Shedeur? Should we get Shedeur? Should we move up to get Shedeur? Do you think Shedeur is going to be there at 6 when we get there? Do you think somebody's going to get him? What should we do? You think those questions weren't asked? You got to be crazy. There's no way you don't have Tom Brady in your reach, on your staff, part owner of your organization, and you don't ask him about the quarterback that he taught, that he mentored. There's no way in hell that happens. It's not possible. It's unthinkable. It's unfathomable. There's no way. And you can't convince me otherwise. And it's not the pull that he has. It's the trust that he knows that position better than anybody because he was the best at it. He helped train this man to be what he is today. He mentored him to be who he is today. You asked Tom Brady about that player, and there's no way you don't. Let's get back to Bomani Jones.
I am now 44 years old.
Legends on 3, 2, 1.
That's my girl, Asia Wilson. Respect.
I am also not short on confidence, and I have never been short on confidence, and I am fully aware of how not being short on confidence can make other people uncomfortable, right? Sometimes in my life, that has been about those people and what they lack. And sometimes in my life, that was about me being obnoxious. When I was in my late teens and early 20s, it was primarily about me being obnoxious. Like, I can look back on it and people tell me things I said. I'm like, oh man, I say, oh, I did. Ugh. Ain't that something, right? And I can think about my life and the path that I've taken and moments that I've had. And one thing that is frustrating, or can be very, very frustrating, is when people take it upon themselves to decide that they need to humble somebody else, that they have decided someone else needs to be knocked down a peg. There is a particular, unique, and ironic arrogance that comes from when a person decides that somebody else needs to have their ego adjusted. I don't think you really get to make that decision, generally speaking, as a person, unless you're the boss or something like that, right? You don't really get to do that. Plus, you're not, in all likelihood, going to be the one who's able to do it. What humbles you is life. Now, as a Black person, it is easy to have a very particular sensitivity to the idea that somebody thinks that you need to be humbled, or somebody thinks that you are a little bit too confident, because it do make white people a little shaky, right?
True.
And so when you hear something about the idea that someone confident needs to be humbled, it is very easy to go to the default reaction, which is that these white people just can't stand a confident Black man, which in many cases is true. But often the issue is that, particularly with somebody like 22 years old, is that person is a bit obnoxious. I've yet to hear anybody say that Anthony Edwards needs to be humble, because people like Anthony Edwards. It really comes down to that, right? People did not like the way that Shedeur was kicking it. They didn't dig it. But at the same time, Anthony Edwards could go do a workout with the Warriors and be told he wasn't working hard enough, and the Warriors can tell him that they would not draft him, and he can hear it and then go back and say, oh, I guess I got to step my shit up if this isn't good enough. That is the humility that people talk about that you must have, right? It's not about you being a shrinking violet. It's not about you being meek, but it's about you recognizing that regardless of how you feel about yourself, there's still some other stuff that's going on that you need to deal with and that you need to attend to. But that was an example of life humbling Anthony Edwards. That was life telling him, you think you doing it, but you're not doing it like you think. And then he learned, and then we saw it from there. Shedeur Sanders seemed very clearly to need to be humbled a little bit. He didn't need somebody to humble him. He didn't need the league to humble him, but he needed somebody to let him know the way you kicking it, you ain't got it like that. There's a little bit too much dippeth on your chippeth. You can't, that's not going to work for you. You're going to need to dial it back and realize that you're not that dude yet, right? And maybe you can earn your way into that place. But I appreciated hearing the way that he handled things with reporters. And look, maybe it's just lip service, right? Maybe that's just what he's paying. But the truth is,
and that's where we differ, right there. That's where we differ. He had too much dippeth on his chippeth. No. Life did not humble Shedeur. If you are paying attention, life is humbling the NFL right now, because everything they've tried to do to him has not worked. They tried to make him less than. They tried to bring his status down so he wouldn't have all of this attention, and they made it bigger. Now they are annoyed because Cleveland don't know what to do with all this media that's sitting in their face right now. They don't know what to do when all of these questions are being asked about Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur, and why Shedeur didn't get as many snaps as Dylan Gabriel. Why did Dylan Gabriel get snaps before Shedeur? Who you think passed better today, coach? Who won today, coach? Who you gonna start this week, coach? How you gonna work this out with 4 quarterbacks, coach? They didn't want all this shit, but you got it. Your Twitter feed should look like Shedeur Sanders for the USA right now, because Shedeur is getting more press than the #1 draft pick, than the #2 draft pick, which is his homeboy, and he getting the second most attention. What they didn't want, they created more of. Because if you would have let him go in the first round, like he should have done, we'd have just said, okay, because he going to Cleveland, he going to start. End of that. Rookie minicamp, we would have wanted to see him throw and all that, but wouldn't have been no quarterback battle. Wouldn't have been no questions there. Wouldn't have been all of this shit if you hadn't tried to break him down and break him and tried to make him less than what he is. You brought it on yourself. When he speaks about life humbling people, life is humbling the NFL owners right now, because they did this shit to themselves, because they tried to break a man and teach his father a lesson and make him say, hey, I might need to dial him back a little bit. No. Know what they did? They turned it up like they always do. They turned it up. They matched the moment. When the lights got bright, they got bright with them. It's about being who you are in that moment, not shrinking. That's how he was built. And that's what they don't understand. See, he wasn't raised with an absentee father. He wasn't raised alone by his mom. See, he had guidance. He had structure. He had somebody to teach him along the way. Don't shrink yourself in front of these people. You stand tall with your chest out and be a man. Don't answer silently. Answer boldly, loudly, so they understand you, so they can hear you. Don't give them a chance to mince your words. Don't give them a chance to mistake what you said. Make sure they hear you clearly. I teach my sons that every day. Because you don't want no mistakes. And that's the problem. That right there is the problem. They tried to humble him and they doubled up on the problem. Now they got to deal with it.
That draft should have been a learning experience for him. And I appreciated the fact that through it all with those cameras in his face, he kept his head up high. He did all of those things, right? He has not been beaten down. He has not been bowed. He hasn't been any of those things. But at least from right here, it seems like he learned something about what he might not have done right in the first place. And that's all you can hope for with somebody that age, is that they can recognize those things when they happen, right? Because one thing that I said this about Angel Reese, and I'll say the same thing about him. I don't understand you grown-ups, you adults who encourage these young people to act like jerks.
This is the pink salt recipe that took me from 100.
See, that's what I'm saying.
Like when Angel Reese said that she didn't want Jill Biden to come into the locker room after they won because Jill Biden had them eliminated in the Sweet 16. And there were actual adults who treated that foolishness like something that was worthy of praise.
And see, once again, that is the wrong statement. Angel Reese didn't want Jill Biden in the locker room because they won the national championship. And Jill Biden wanted Iowa to come to the White House too. Since when do the losers get to go? See, it's all about the information. When you get the information wrong and then you pass it out wrong. No, she didn't want Jill Biden and she didn't want to go because she wanted to invite both teams. No, the losers don't get to go to the White House. But Iowa was an all-white team. And that team full of sisters didn't feel like that was appropriate. Why do they get to go and they didn't win? See what I'm saying? But he said she shouldn't be acting like that's how she was supposed to act. They don't get the privileges I got because they lost. Going to the White House is supposed to be a privilege if you win a championship, not if you lose one. But Jill Biden wanted to invite both teams because it would be a good gesture. No, it will not. But you got a team full of sisters over there who got beat up all season. Talked about, dogged out, and Caitlin Clark and them ain't getting nothing but love and admiration. And then when they win, you want to invite the losers to go with them to share in their victory? Are you crazy? No, we're not doing that. That's what she meant. That's what she was talking about. But he think you ain't supposed to do that. Mind you, Bomani Jones is a brilliant man, smart, well raised, have a bit of education. Mama and daddy are both education people, professors, brilliant people. But Monty Jones can sit in the room and articulate with the best stuff. But this ain't it. This ain't it. You can't do that. You don't get to come with me if I win. No, you take your ass home and feel sorry for yourself. This is my victory now. The Eagles was just at the White House. Did the Kansas City Chiefs get to go? No. What they get to go for? They lost. It's bullcrap, man, people. Let's go.
Because you trying to relive your life and you wish you could have done.
Y'all make sure y'all hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Don't forget, we're going to get to them super chats in a minute. We're going to start calling them up if y'all can put it in there. Because I ain't been paying the chat no attention while I've been going ham in this thing.
Done that when you were 21. You dumbass. That was stupid of her, and it was stupid of you to think that that was something that was appropriate, right?
You a dumbass.
All the people who just ran up with Shedeur after folks are telling you what went down and just being like, yeah, you see, they just don't like that he is confident in himself. If they didn't like that he was confident in himself, I don't know why they drafted anybody else. It's football players that made it to the NFL. They all confident in themselves. What are you talking about? What are the shrinking violets that show up to play pro sports? What are you talking about? So it's just always blown my mind, all these adults who in these circumstances don't look at this and recognize, hey, man, these people got some growing to do. They don't need your defense as much as they need your counsel, right?
But Monty, you just got this all wrong, brother. You just got it all wrong. Because you don't want to see what's in front of your face. Shedeur was projected to be the number 1 or the number 2 draft pick. Nobody in the history of the NFL has been projected that high and failed that far. You don't let talent that good go away. And now he in the doggone training camp and everybody's in awe. Like you haven't seen that shit for the last 4 years. Like he just learned how to pass yesterday. Like he ain't been dropping bombs. Like he ain't been throwing precision passes. Like he ain't been throwing over the top of fucking linebackers and dropping it in the bucket to a man on the run, throwing them open, just catch it and go. What are y'all talking about? Bullshit. Y'all talking shit. Admit what it is. Say what it is. They wanted to humble that man and teach his dad a lesson and try to make them think that they wasn't shit. And y'all gonna carry on with this bullshit. How can 32 teams do that? 32 teams didn't pick Colin Kaepernick with all them sorry-ass NFL quarterbacks in the league right now. So you can't tell me ain't no way it can happen. Why Kaepernick ain't playing? Because he ain't never did nothing wrong. Y'all full of shit. Act like that man did something. Tell me 32 team owners can't collude? Bullshit. You watched it happen. And you still telling me it can't happen? It's just like telling me Donald Trump ain't no racist. He ain't no crook. He ain't profited from the presidency. Bullshit. When he just got a plane from a country he ain't got no fucking business dealing with at all, period. You can't tell me this shit ain't real when it's in your face. Y'all still want to believe that bull crap. Now y'all want to change the narrative on Shedeur. This didn't happen. That didn't happen. We didn't know he was that good. You knew he was that good. Everybody else said he was that good. Every pundit in the country said he was that good. All of a sudden, he ain't that good come draft time? Bullshit. All of a sudden, now he can throw a pass. He just learned how to throw this good last week. Him and Daryl just started working out. He ain't worked out with Tom Brady. He didn't get mentored by the GOAT, as y'all say. He didn't have a quarterback coach everywhere he went. He ain't worked out with the best quarterbacks in the game. He ain't talked to Warren Moon. He ain't talked to Dak Prescott. He ain't talked to none of these quarterbacks ever. He ain't never worked out with none of them. All of a sudden, in a week, he learned how to throw precision passes. He learned how to throw fade routes in the corner. He know how to throw back shoulder passes. He know how to throw an out route. He know how to throw a 9 route. He just not learning that. What the hell are we doing? Then y'all gonna say his shit outweighed his talent. Nothing outweighed his talent. His talent was better than every other quarterback that was picked before him. And y'all keep saying it every day. But you keep telling me it wasn't no collusion? You keep saying it. He was better than Jackson Dart. He was better than Tyler Show. He was better than Jason Miro. He was better than Dylan goddamn Gabriel. But he fell to the 5th round. You telling me he better than these people? But you keep saying the talent didn't outweigh the distraction. He ain't a distraction. You the distraction. Y'all following him around. He ain't got no cameras following him around in Cleveland. That's all the NFL. That's all the media. That ain't his people. But he the distraction. His dad gonna do this. His dad gonna do what his dad gonna do. The same thing that what's his face daddy did last year. The same way Dylan Gabriel daddy did. The same way Johnny Manziel daddy did. The same way every father does when it comes to their child playing these games. They ain't gonna let y'all play with them. But you got a problem because it's Dion. Dion been a problem his whole career because he wouldn't kowtow and bow down to their bull crap. That's all. It's plain. It's simple. It's there. They know it. Say it. Stephen A., the biggest punk in the business, he said it. He's the biggest kiss ass to ESPN in the world. And he said it. Ryan Clark said it. Ocho said it. Shannon Sharp didn't say it. He hinted at it. He didn't say it. Shannon, say it with your chest. No, don't you say it with your chest. You got other stuff going on. Don't do that. But y'all tell me, man. We know what it is. They just some haters. And they wanted Shedeur to fail. They wanted him to ball out. They wanted him to cry. They wanted to break him down. And know what he said? Thank God. Wasn't no long speech. Wasn't no about time. Wasn't no we supposed to been here. Wasn't no y'all fucked up. Y'all should have drafted me. I'm going to make all y'all pay. All he said was thank God. And they didn't like that because they wanted more. They wanted more. They was waiting on the angry black man, and that ain't what you got. All they got was thank God. They didn't like that legendary out over there. They didn't like that brand. It's just about the NFL shield. Shedeur website sold out in less than 2 hours of every piece of merchandise he had. And then they started buying jerseys. And if he didn't got shit back up on the site, it'll sell out again. But he gonna play y'all game. He gonna play y'all game until he get on that 53-man roster. But ain't nothing really changed. He got to get acclimated. This is his first year in the league. This is all new. You know, new city, new town, new people. You don't know where to go, who to trust. You don't know what side of town not to go on. Because in every city, there's a side of town that you have no business going on. Yeah, I saw that, Wallace. Florio said that he wanted Shedeur to be more angry. They wanted that. They wanted that. They wanted to humble him. I did the video on it. I told y'all, showed y'all what that man said the night of the draft. What Shedeur needed to do. He needed to call these people and tell them, look, I'm sorry. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do this. He ain't got to do that crap. But this is what they wanted. They wanted him silent. Don't be no big boy. But let's finish Bo Money out.
They don't need your capes as much as they need your arms around them. Hey, don't think he played that way. You can't be so caught up in grievance and the people who have aggrieved you that when people are doing something wrong, you can't stop and say, hey, man, I still love you, but let me pull your coat to what was going on, right? Let me pull your coat to what you did, right? And it sounds to me like somebody pulled Shedeur's coat, and instead of trying to be defiant, he realizes this is the business he has chosen. This is the way it needs to be played. And yeah, they didn't draft you early. It's not about them anymore, though. It's about you. And now is your time to step up and do your best. And the truth is, if you get out there and you do your best and you don't make it to the league, I know it's not going to feel like a win to him, but it'll be a win to somebody like me because I realize where it started for him and all the things that they did to get him to this place.
It'll be a win for somebody like you. What the hell kind of comment was that? This ain't your dream. This is not what you wanted for your life. It'll be a win for somebody like you. You don't matter at this point. It's not about you. It's always been about him. And that's the problem. That was the NFL's problem. It was about him. And they wanted it to be about them. That is the problem. That's what started all of this. They wanted it to be about them instead of about him. He earned this. He worked for this. He did everything that he was supposed to do. He put himself in the position. Yes, he used his father's resources. That's what he's supposed to do. That's his daddy. And if that's your son and you got the resources to put him in better places, that's what you're supposed to do with him. But everybody mad at him because that's his father. I want to see next year when they had that same energy for the New Orleans Saints when the Nussmeier family are working together. When the Saints drafted Gary Nussmeier from LSU, because his daddy is the offensive coordinator in the New Orleans Saints. That's why they didn't draft Shedeur. If y'all want to know, y'all hit the like button. That's why they didn't draft Shedeur, the New Orleans Saints, because they're going to draft Gary Nussmeier. Everybody think they're going to draft the Manning kid. He might not even come out. But you know who coming out? Gary Nussmeier coming out. It's his 5th year. He don't have a choice. That's who the New Orleans Saints. That's why they drafted Tyler Shook. That is exactly why. I want to see how much nepotism is going to be screamed at the New Orleans Saints when they draft Nussmeier in the first round next season. Everybody talking about New Orleans Saints are waiting on Mr. Manning over here at TU down the street. They not waiting on him. They waiting on that man's son. When that man's son comes out next year, he already know where he going. He already know where he going. And if the Saints have to go up to go get him, they gonna go get him. It's just that. But I want to see if the world have that same energy that they had for Deion and Shedeur when it happened in the NFL. See, that's never happened before in the NFL. A father has never coached his son in the NFL. And that was the problem. People thought Shedeur and Coach Prime was going to get together in the NFL. It still might happen. It wasn't going to happen now because Prime got too much to do. He wants that national championship, and people don't understand that. He going to get that. And after he get that, then everything else is in play. National championship comes first. He got 4 years before Shedeur's contract's up, Shiloh contract's up, Travis contract's up. In 4 years, when those contracts are up, that's when you'll see Coach Prime move. Because he can tell that owner, you want me? Go get them all right now. Because you put that band back together. Oh my, the money you'd make, the media attention you'd have. It would be ridiculous. The amount of jerseys alone that you would sell. You could raise ticket prices by 30% if you did that. But that's 4 or 5 years from now. We got to get through the first contract. And then all of that will take place. But anyway, y'all make sure y'all hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. If you ain't subscribed, we're going to get into some of these chats and see what's popping. I don't know if super chats or anything else have popped off. I doubt it. Don't look like it. Don't look like we got no super chats, but y'all drop your questions in the comment section. We'll take some of them before we get out of here. Cause Bo Money full of shit. Oh, let me show y'all
better to you.
I thought Dylan Gabriel both days looked a little bit better.
Why?
He throws a tight spiral. He throws a beautiful ball. He's very assertive. He knows the pocket. You could tell that, even though they're not rushing. He just has a pocket presence. Better arm strength than I thought.
Height wasn't an issue?
Not in this venue. I mean, it's touch football right now. So,
but you're still counting the numbers.
Yeah, but the numbers are the only things that don't lie. I mean, you could say he's short. Yeah, he's 5'11". So he's short.
But you don't think it was an issue now? It could be in the future.
Oh, yeah. So anyway, I thought Gabriel was a little bit better both days. Doesn't mean Shedeur Sanders
won't let you leave a super
is a bust or anything. He just, the other guy looks better.
Y'all heard that hater. The other guy looks better. That's what you call true haters. Of all the haters. You know, the haters are going to hate. It won't let you leave a super chat on the YouTube. don't know why not. The super chats are on. The super chats are on. So they should be able to do it. I don't know what's up with that. I won't let you leave super chat. What you say, Big Snacks? It won't. Yeah. Oh, I need to fix that setting then. I really need to fix that. I really need to fix that. Then East Coast Kev. What you talking about, brown girl? You knew what was all a lie. Talk to me. What you do, brown girl? To get this thing together. Like promotion altercation. I don't understand it. Can't see the super chat. I see it, Keith. I understand it. I don't know what's going on with it today. Something crazy with it, but we'll fix it for the next one. We're going to start bringing them back. Now we got football action going live. And the WNBA finna start. Y'all know my girl Angel gonna show out and do her thug thizzle. And I don't even worry about the UFL too much. I've been watching it, but you know, as usual, Birmingham gonna win it all, as we always do. But I don't know, man. We're gonna see what's gonna happen with all this Shedeur talk. Right now, I can go to Shedeur's feed and they are going crazy. I promise you they are. They got pictures of Joe Flacco, Jerry Jeudy, and Shedeur. I'm finna put them in the chat right now and show y'all what I'm talking about. They got Shedeur and Jerry Jeudy out. I'm finna show y'all what's popping. I'm gonna show y'all these images that's just popping up on the scene. You know, veterans back in the camp today. Well, it started yesterday. So, you know. And they got Shedeur, Flacco, Jerry Jeudy already out doing the most. You know, but we ain't done. We finna see what's popping off right now. And Skip dropped another video about Tom Brady, so I'm gonna have to do something about that one. We might do that one tomorrow. Well, I might do it later on and then post it tomorrow. Because Skip called Tom Brady a two-faced hypocrite. And Skip is hot about how Cam Ward doing in minicamp. He doing all right. I suspect Jerry Jones asserting his influence because Coach Brown turned him down. Bruised ego, Jerry hires a coach that never coached. Man, listen. There's so many egos in this shit, dog. It is so many egos in this crowd. Let me show y'all. Did I show y'all what Todd McShay, what I was talking about when we was talking about all that crap? Because you remember Todd McShay was so high on Shedeur earlier. And after that Baylor game, this is what Todd McShay had to say. He just finished all 94 plays of the Colorado offense versus Baylor. Even excluding the Hail Mary, Shedeur was sensational. His receivers just don't have to work for the ball the way a lot of other prospects make their guys work. Best pure passer, anticipation, placement, throwing guys open, etc. in the 2025 class. That's what they thought about Shedeur Sanders before the draft, before the collusion. That's Todd McShay. Had Shedeur at number 2 on his draft board when it came to quarterback. Why y'all think Mel Kiper was going so hard at the draft? Mel Kiper knew what was up. Mel Kiper said, I ain't bullshitting y'all, is up to something. And they did that. I don't know why they did it. They tried it. But Mel ain't even with it. Now they got this man suing the NFL because they didn't draft Shedeur, which is crazy. He might get some money out of that though. Because people do be going hard over the NFL draft. Let's listen to what Shady McCoy had to say about his sources inside the draft.
Up role with these dudes. He's in there to start. He looks way more focused. Yeah. But even the focus part, he looks like himself though. And the thing is, ain't nothing changed about Shedeur. Just that you really can't see the change in the interview because he's playing football right now. That's the only difference is he's the same dude. All his teammates always say he's a great teammate. If you look at the reports of his players in camp, they saying the same thing about him. Yeah. And the biggest part why he will start early this year is because you in a room full of dudes that would struggle to start on any other team. Imagine having Joe Flacco's your starting quarterback. Where y'all going? What y'all doing? Who happy about that? Okay? Kenny Pickett. I love Kenny Pickett. But he's in his years, he's been struggling. I mean, that's just what it is. He had a game or two with the Eagles that did well. Other he's struggling. They said right now today, Dylan and him, they in the same class. Yeah. Right? And then when a real camp start, I got Shedeur starting over him. That's how bad it looks like that in minicamp right now. So when you ask me who's going to start, it's like, yeah, he's going to start. Maybe not week 1. But you going against guys that's not really starters. Yeah. So now my question to y'all is, if it's a room full of backups, who's gonna be the starter? Mm-hmm. Choose the baller. Come on now, let's stop playing around with this thing.
Exactly. I think the Browns playing this whole Shedeur thing so nobody would pick him. Trump made that tweet 2 minutes later. He was drafted. No. If you watch my video, I told y'all the Browns bucked the system. The Browns went against everything they were supposed to do and drafted Shedeur. I'm telling y'all, Shedeur should have been an undrafted free agent. They wanted to humble this man and his father. The plan was for Shedeur to be an undrafted free agent. You don't drop to the 5th round with that kind of potential status and accolades behind you. They wanted, and the Browns broke rank and went and got Shedeur because they just couldn't let all that money just sit there going to waste. And ain't no telling if somebody else would have broke rank. Now, the plan might have been to get him for the 5th round or the 6th round. I'm thinking the plan was him to go undrafted. And then, but if he goes undrafted, he gets to pick the team. The teams get to invite him to the places, and he would have got more than 6 invites. And the Browns couldn't let that happen. They was not going to let that money get away like that. There's no way. Yeah, we got confirmation that some owners said take him off the board. We don't even want him. But you know, and when you got a man talking about changing your franchise, changing your culture, that's what you should have been wanting. Because if you picking in the top 5 of the draft, you absolutely suck. And you need a quarterback. So yes, you need somebody to come in and change your program and change your losing culture to a winning culture. So you won't be picking in the top half of the draft no more. So, you know, yeah, Trump spoke, lawsuits coming. Yeah, you're there, right. That's exactly what's happening, we be. Exactly. Shedeur speaking about the winning coaches, you doggone right, brown girl. It's crazy though, man. But anyway, we gonna get out of here, man. I want to appreciate all y'all for coming through. My super chats ain't working. I gotta fix that. We gonna get it back. And we're gonna start doing these. I got time every day, but I don't know if y'all want to talk every day. Y'all let me know. Because we can do this an hour and a half every day and get it popping. Because we got a lot to talk about. Because, you know, your boy no ball. You know, I know ball. And we can talk about football. We ain't even talked about Colorado football. We'll talk about that tomorrow. How about we talk about that tomorrow? Because I don't think we're going to have anything from none of these veteran camps today. These are voluntary OTAs coming in. So, no, these are mini camp. Then voluntary OTAs is that, then OTAs. So, we'll get it popping. Thank y'all for coming out. Y'all know how we get down. And we'll have everything working tomorrow. I'm going to go and make the thumbnail and get it posted up so everybody know what time to meet us so we can chop it up. All right, y'all. Appreciate y'all. We out. Peace.